My name's Sasha and I run CrossFit On here in Cornwall. Since working with Dan at Onya, the way that I do merchandising and advertising has been completely transformed. Gone are the days of endless backwards and forwards emails to printing companies and the sleepless nights worrying about the upfront costs. I now just look through a catalogue, tell Dan what I want, and then within one email it is all done. Now, all of my members have all of our merchandise at the click of a button. I literally can recommend Dan and Onya highly enough. The quality of all of the stuff is amazing, and the website is super seamless. All of our members and all of our coaches absolutely love it.
Oh. That's so funny. I got a DM off Hopper saying, "Are you sending spontaneous links?" And I was like, "What?" And then I went and checked my email and I sent the link for this show to you and him instead of you and JR. I just texted him back that was meant for JR. Sorry. Okay. This we're going to chat a bit about. I went on an affiliate tour. Is that what we said? We said that we were doing that this week, didn't we? And we'll do the hero thing at the end of the month. Is that what we said?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Easy.
So I went on an affiliate tour. I've been to like 8 affiliates in the last 2 weeks. I was at Limitless in Galway. I can't remember how many members they have. 200 or something? 100 and something? 180, 160? I can't remember. I was at Bath for like 5,000 members, like 600 members or something. I was in your gym, 179. I was in Dragon in Cardiff. I was in Lamington, in Lamington Spa. I was in SC Fit in Birmingham. I was in Method in Newcastle, and I was in Tweed Bank in Scotland. I said this to you like when I was at your gym, but this is kind of what I want to talk about. That so when I was in Lamington, the owner of Lamington said, the beauty of the affiliate model is that you can sort of do whatever you want. Like once everything is up to date, once your certificates and everything are up to date, once your affiliate fees are up to date, that's it. Like open at 4 o'clock in the morning if you want, close at 4 o'clock in the afternoon if you want. Like, have you been to CrossFit Glasgow?
Yeah, we do seminars there a lot. Yeah,
they have 27 classes a day.
Yeah, they've got, I think they're upwards of like 600 members, 3 railway arches. Yeah, they are.
27 classes a day is insanity. Like it obviously works, but it's just crazy to think about that there's that many. They overlap and run concurrently and stuff like that. You also have affiliates that are like, what's the guy's name? Palf. Dave. He does.
Oh yeah.
He like coaches basically more or less out of his house. Like it's like a small little
garage.
Garage. Yeah. He's not doing 27 classes a day. But they're both CrossFit affiliates. Do you know what I mean? You can paint it black. You can paint it, red. You can have no lights, all lights. You can be outdoors, indoors. Like there's no restrictions on it compared to like a franchise, say.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first gyms I went to, and I was like, God, yeah, it is actually cool that you can basically just do whatever you want. Now, obviously, that leads to some absolutely dog shit gyms. Like terrible gyms and terrible experiences for people when they go in and they're like, I want to try CrossFit. And then that's the place that they unfortunately wind up going. And they're like, what? People are getting injured. Like the coaching is bad. The movements are bad. Everything is bad. But it also leads to like the 8 gyms that I've been to and others like them, where there's almost nothing in common in any of the gyms. There's 2 things that all of the gyms have in common with each other. And then some other stuff you have in common with Method, but not in common with any of the rest. And Method has in common with Lamington, but not in common with any of the rest. So the overlap of there's about 15 different circles on the Venn diagram. and only really like 2 of them overlap for everybody, which is that the coach or the head coach or the owner is really passionate about what they're doing and really wants to help as many people as possible. And the second circle, depending on how you word it, is either they've realized that they need to treat the business as a business in order to help more people. Like they need to.
I think that's one of the biggest things. They probably what we all have in common. It all becomes a business at a certain point.
Yeah, and that it's like, oh, this is cool. Just charge like £40 a month, get as many people through the door as possible. And then it's like, well, wait, I need to hire another coach because I'm too tired and I'm not giving my best anymore. And blah blah. Yeah. And then off the back of that, they all have or are intending to instigate a coaching. Either coaching development, as in like developing coaches to keep them there long term, or else a career for the coaches that they have. So like salary, like benefits, like, you know, over here it's like PAYE. I don't know what it is in the States, but like tax stuff is all done and it's not cash under the table, or you know, we'll give you a couple hours here, a couple hours there. It's like you have a job, you are a coach now, that's your job, and you can get a mortgage and you can have a family off the back of this job. And all of those gyms have that or are about to initiate that.
Yeah, that's not common.
No. And I think it's maybe what separates the 8 from others I've been to and others I've heard about is like, so Jamie and Method is probably, and Lamington, they're probably the 2 that are the most like, this is a fucking business.
Yeah.
And I need, like the Lamington guy said, he gave a great line where he said, like, Glassman said, you need to care and care and care and care and care. But he left out a line in between the first 2 cares. So it's like, you need to care. And then you need to make enough money so that you can care and care and care and care and care. And it's like, it's fine to care, but that passion that everybody has runs out eventually. You get pissed off, you know, whatever. You just you're running on fumes. And I asked Jamie, like, what in Method, if you could tell someone that's opening a gym or that's just starting out, like what he was like, you need to figure out what your maximum expense is and then work backwards from there to get your member rate, instead of charging your members and then saying, oh, fuck, we need new whatever, or we need this, or we need to do that. I need to add more. It's funny. He said that he said everybody holds their shit until they go to the gym. So he's like, everybody shits in the gym. So he's like, toilet paper, like worked out how much toilet paper you need from the year and charge the members for it. Like he was like, you have to work backwards. Why do you think it's because of the garage model and stuff and because a lot of members become coaches? Is that why that isn't common? Do you think that there's a career path and that it's treated as a business and that kind of stuff?
I don't think it's that common because not many people have figured out how to do it. Like it's still reasonably new in, you know, a CrossFit affiliate, opening it and then being open long enough to be able to have multiple coaches and pay them a salary. Not many people have figured out to do it. I think a lot of people did their level 1 back in the day to understand CrossFit a little bit more and to, you know, I'm talking 10, 15 years ago now. They did it to just understand the methodology a little bit more and to open their own gym. I don't know if any of them actually thought it was going to be an actual career option because there was very little evidence to show before that it was actually an option. But I think since then, people have figured out that it can be done. It's not easy. And you need to do more than just put a workout on the board and coach people through it. And yeah, you'll see the big successful gyms now around the UK have figured out ways to do it. But there's more than one way to do it, obviously. So that the good news is there's more than one way to make your gym successful. If you've been to 8 gyms and you're saying that they're all different, that means that there's potentially 8 or more ways to be successful. The programming looks a little bit different. The gyms look a little bit different. The coaching's a little bit different. So there's ways to be successful. I think it'd be interesting to know how they got from, 10 members and probably taking 90% of the classes to employing the first coach, and what did they do to get it to 150 members and 200? What did they get to to earn enough money to pay themselves a salary and all that. That's where most gym owners are. They're at the stage where they've opened a gym, but they're taking most of the classes and they can't get past that. Like, what are the key points to get people past that to where these other gyms are that are, making good money and paying staff and have multiple coaches and 27 classes a day, because most gyms aren't there, I would say.
Yeah, you probably don't need 27 classes a day, though, do you?
Depends on, like Glasgow do that. Have you been there?
No.
So originally they had 2 railway arches, super long, super narrow. And that's limited then by obviously how many people you can get into a class. They have another archway that I think, unless I'm wrong, is just for like competitors. They have like a competitors program. So there's classes going on in there. There's the regular CrossFit classes. And they took over another 3rd archway now for more of like a cardio type of thing.
Yeah, conditioning or something, yeah.
Limited by how many people they can get into a class. They have to run more classes, where my gym, for example, is much more open space. I can get 24. I think we had 30 people in this morning. So you don't have to run that many classes. You can get more people into one class, So it depends on the layout, equipment, programming.
Isn't was that gym in London? Shapesmiths, that's similar, isn't it? They have concurrent classes that kind of overlap a bit because of it's all separate buildings, almost like separate units.
I think I've never been there, but I think they're very similar in sort of separate archways. And I think they have classes that start 15 minutes behind the other one in each archway. So like archway 1, 6 a.m., archway 2, 6:15, archway 3, 6:30. Like, I might be wrong, but I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
Arches.
Who let the cats out meow? I was like, okay. What would you say to a gym owner who has gotten himself stuck in a cycle of disgruntled coaches and members, declining community because they didn't invest in the business early enough? Like, what does it matter if it's early enough or not? You can just do it now.
Depends if they're losing money now and they can't afford to reinvest.
But then you decide you're either going to sell it or you're going to take a chance that you can turn it around. I mean, like that. So the gyms that I was at, the one in Scotland, when he took it over, he bought it from the old owner and he had 80 members and now he has 160. So he's doubled the membership and now he's breaking even.
Yeah.
Because there was some weird financial stuff happening.
Yeah.
And he was led to believe that it was healthier than it was. That gym in Galway had, I think, 40 members. And now they're definitely over 100. I just can't remember what number it is. But they've more than doubled it. So I think, yeah, it can be a case of like, a fresh approach can do it. But I think it's sort of like if you're mad overweight and it's just like, it's either like, oh, well, fuck it, I'll just eat a bit more cake. Or it's like, well, I can just turn it around now. Like, small little changes over time will improve things. If you have 12 coaches part-time, surely just get rid of 9 of them and make 3 of them full-time. And it's going to be the same cost, but it's just going to 3 people instead of spread across all those people. And then you're giving 3 people a career.
Yeah, that's why I look at it. I try and have my full-time coaches as the core. They help with decisions. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And then the part-time coaches, they sort of fill in the gaps where we need them. But it's hard to say without knowing a bit more detail. Yeah. But if the coaches aren't on the same page as the owner, that's never going to work. Like, I've been there in a gym that I worked at before where me and the owners eventually were just not seeing eye to eye in terms of investment and programming and all this other stuff. And you're probably never going to get past it. If the owner's going one way, the coaches are going another way. It's almost impossible. So everyone needs to be moving in the same direction with the same. For me, you've got to have 3 things. You've got to have good programming, you've got to have good coaching, you've got to have a good facility. And you need all three of those. If you haven't got all 3 of those working, I don't think it works. So my advice would be figure out which one is holding you back the most, the programming, the coaching, or the facility, and try and improve that. And for me, the workouts is one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, even that, like, it's funny how many people from going around disagree with just the base level stuff like that. I think everybody agrees that the facility and the coaching is really important, but like some people are like, the programming doesn't matter because it'll be effective if the coaching is good enough and if the facility is good enough. So and now there's obviously a limit to that. If you just program Cindy every day of the week, I mean, you're going to lose. Like, people just be like, "What the fuck is this?" But if you have just high intensity, maybe the workouts aren't entertaining, or maybe they're not fun, or maybe they're not whatever. But like, they will improve people. But the argument, I think your argument is probably like, well, if it's fun and engaging, it'll improve them and they'll keep coming back. Is that right?
Yeah, it's got to improve people, but it's also got to be enjoyable. I think a lot of people fall down in programming when they take it like a little bit too serious. They take themselves or the programming a little bit too serious, and they forget that it's supposed to be. For me, you should look at the workout and be like, I want to do that. That looks cool. That's a cool workout. I want to do that every day, as often as possible. If your only focus on programming is that it's effective and it gets people fitter, but it's boring, like 400-meter repeats are 100% going to make people. It's going to improve people's running, but it's also boring for 90% of the population. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it has to be workouts that are fun, that are enjoyable, and improve you. You can't just hang your hat on, oh, these workouts are effective. Like, I've been doing CrossFit 10 years now. I want to be in a class that that's a workout that I want to do, not that it's just effective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your 90% of your membership base is going to be people that work full time and train 3 to 5 times a week. I would argue it's probably more enjoyable. It's more important to be more enjoyable than effective long term. Like, people's fitness is going to do this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up and up until they're 80 years old. So if they enjoy it, they're going to be in the gym more, and as a byproduct of that, it's also going to be more effective. But if your only focus is on effectiveness and not in cool, enjoyable workouts with high skill, low skill, long, heavy, good variance, people are going to stop coming.
Do you think are some affiliates either limited, or do they perceive themselves as limited by the demographic that they serve? So the people that are around them, or the areas that they're in. Like, if you're in an area where it's all young families, you're going to have a lot of like mums and dads dropping their kids off and then coming to class, and they've maybe got an hour and they maybe train, maybe 3-4 times a week. If you're in like a real officey type area, then you're going to have everyone whose like posture is like this, like basically their whole day and week, and then you're trying to get them into this position and like get them, like squatting and stuff. Like, do you think are some coaches or programmers just like, right, we're right beside an office block where most of the people come from, and we're trying to get like, fuck it, just forget about snatches, we'll just do like, even just do power snatches, like forget about doing, like, what would they get the same benefit from doing like heavy kettlebell swings? It's the same power, hip hinge, that kind of stuff, You
can do that to any type of person just in the class. Like, if once you start pigeonhole yourself into certain types of people, whether it's new mums or busy dads, or you're blocking out everyone that doesn't fit into that little bubble.
It does happen though, I think. Does it? Do you agree with that? Yeah.
Every weekend on a level 1 or level 2, probably a little bit more, because they tend to be coaches or affiliate owners. It's like I speak to some people. It's like, we're anti-competitions. We don't do the open. We don't want any competitive. We don't want any competitive athletes. If someone messages us and sends us an email, and they say they want to do they want to do snatches and muscle ups and learn that, we put them to a gym down the road. But they're also gyms generally. They're also the gyms that generally that moaning they're not making any money, or they haven't got enough members, or yada yada yada. And then on the flip side, there are gyms that only focus on competitive. They want competitive members, and then they block out the other 80% of the population. None of it makes any sense to me. You can have both of those types in the gym, and if you're looking at somebody with a barbell and you're like, do you know what, I think you're going to get injured doing this snatch workout, you're going to get a much better workout today doing a clean. Give them a clean, give them a heavy kettlebell swing, just change it for them. That's literally what scaling is. Snatching on the board doesn't mean everyone has to snatch. you got to use your own. You got to use your own
initiative.
Yeah, and figure out what's the best for this individual. You know, and you should be trying to attract all different types of people and scaling them accordingly.
It was interesting. So if I go to your gym, it's like a rogue warehouse, basically. It's like more or less every conceivable piece of equipment that would be useful in CrossFit.
It's literally everything bar the rowers and the ski ergs and the C2 bikes.
Yeah. But it's even like, it's not like you have everything. You've sandbags, yokes, it's not like it's just like, a rogue rig and some barbells. It's like everything that rogue sell, basically, that's useful in CrossFit is there. And then you go to, and it's all looks relatively new. It's, like, I can imagine you Christmas Eve with a toothbrush being like, now's my chance. No one's here tomorrow.
Yeah.
But then you go to Bath, which is like one of the most successful gyms in the British Isles, basically. And Ollie takes so much pride in having like mismatched rowers, like the white ones, the black ones, like ones with like big scratches down the side, like the kettlebells. You're kind of looking at it being like, is that a bit of yellow on that? Does that mean that's a 16? Yeah. Like you can't tell what it is, but the members all know what it is. Like mismatched plates, like whatever. And then you go to Dragon and it's kind of like a halfway point between the two of you, where Andy has found, if you like, I found these wall balls that they're not rogue, but they're almost as good, and for the price point, like it just makes sense, rather than that kind of way, that it's not as mismatched as Bath is, but it's not as like dart on the bullseye as yours is. It's interesting that I think when I was going to Bath, I expected sort of like what you have. I expected like, right, it is really clean, really nice, everything else, but I just expected the equipment. When I saw two different rowers beside each other, I was like, that would piss me off so much if I saw like two different rowers. And I think as a member, I'd be like, I'll never use a white one. Just like,
sprint for the black ones. I think it's just like an affiliate owner thing on what they would, or what they want the gym to be like, or what they could like tolerate, if that makes sense. Like for me, I couldn't do it any other way, because like you just said, if we had one white rower or something, it would drive me insane and I would look at it all day, every day. So it's like, for me to like be able to relax and be in the gym, it has to look, and the equipment's got to be that way. But then the downfall for me would be, I probably push too much money into that side of things. Like realistically, most of the members that join 179 have never been to a CrossFit gym before, so they think they all look like this. So really speaking, if I was like talking about, business, I would not pump a lot of money into Rogue, and probably put it more towards running the sales or advertising or business a little bit more. But what you probably might find is that maybe Andy and Ollie are like, okay, well, the equipment is good enough for what it is. I'm going to take my money and not put it towards equipment, which is, perfectly fine, and maybe put it more towards coaches development or advertising or member retention. I think it's just like a reflection of where the owner sees value for their gym and what they think will make it successful in the future. And none of it's wrong. I think it's just a reflection of where they see the value in a perfect world, I guess you would have the best equipment and being able to pump a load of money into advertising. It just takes, a long time to get there. Probably Jamie at Method is probably, from the outside looking in, it looks like he's probably closest to that, a lot of Rogue, good advertising, runs the business well. And I think it's just different ways of getting there.
Yeah, Jamie's gym is like, it's interesting. Like, I think I don't think there's a gym that I was at that I'd be like, I wouldn't be happy being a member here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I liked enough about all of them. I disliked some stuff about them, but I liked enough about all of them that I was like, yeah, I could easily see myself like taking out a year's membership here. I'd say the furthest from what I'd want would probably be Lamington,
mm-hmm.
because he doesn't program box jumps, like snatches, that kind of stuff. And I think I just feel I kind of put it to him, do you not think you're stopping people having aspirations? But then he's so business minded that he's like, well, your best clients are your most valuable clients, or they should be. So if you use someone who's really, really good at CrossFit and wants to be really, really good at CrossFit, or really, really good at lifting and wants to be good at, like, even better at Olympic lifting, then you offer them PT. And then that's when they do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like, yeah. I mean, I was looking around £1 million unit that he owns.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really argue again. I couldn't be like, no, you're wrong. I was like, well, you're doing something right. But he had some crazy cool stuff that I'd never seen before, where his floor, he had rigs down either side of the room. And then it was all black tiling, apart from wherever there was a squat bay and they're directly opposite each other, there was a strip of blue tiles. So it was like black, black, blue, black, black, blue, black, black, blue the whole way down. And he kind of pointed out, and like, you wouldn't notice it when you walk in straight away because it's very, very dark blue and then black. But when it's pointed out to you, you're like, oh yeah, it's clearly different. But he said that now he has lanes. So when we were doing the work, I said that's going to piss me off. If it's like everyone's standing in the blue lane and everyone's standing in the black, I'm going to just feel too military. But then I did a class and you don't notice it at all. He's like, oh, put your skipping rope in the blue lane and you put your barbell in the two black lanes. And I did it. And then I looked up, and because you're doing it that way, everything is uniform. Yeah. And he was like, so someone walks into the gym for the first time, they see everybody being uniform and it just looks better than people dodging barbells and, like moving out of the way and shit. And this in SC Fit, when I was up there, Gareth did a class. It was like running and double unders. And after someone else coached the class, and after the class, he said, oh, I fucked up the layout. So he's like, people are running out past people who are doing double unders. He said, I laid it out wrong, so we need to change it for the evening. And it was sort of like two sides of the coin, where they program, I can't remember the name of the course programs there, but they program and then they lay out the class, and then after the morning they're like, oh, that didn't work, or oh, that was perfect, and then they adjust. Whereas the Lamington place, but he did that military fit or something, like this boot camp that was on like 20 years ago. So you can see where that plays in now, where he's like, everybody was in a directly straight line doing deadlifts when we were doing the strength piece. Everybody was in a directly straight, like to the point where the coach was moving people. It was like, can you move your barbell out about a foot? Because it was like all a straight line, and then one person was slightly further in. So he's like, move out so you're in line with everyone, which is great for coaching, like level 2, eyes on everyone. You can see everyone all the time. If everybody's in a straight line, all you have to do is stand at the top and you can see everyone down the left, everyone down the right. Mm-hmm. So it definitely makes sense, but it's just funny watching that and how effective that is. Like, he had a very fit membership base. Like, everybody moved really well, everybody looked really fit. And you go to your gym, which is, it's almost like it's innate with your members, like that you were doing Bella and you're like, oh, just like, it was basically like find a space, but everybody, I think you had to move one person. Yeah. Was kind of slightly let, and you were like, just move into the middle instead of standing behind one person. You were like, just move into the middle. And that's the only person you had to move. Whereas your members, it's sort of innate, whereas there it's like they're told, like it's, but he said, when you have members coming in, they're working all day. The last thing they want to think, like he was like, confusion is a workout killer. So the last thing you want to have is members coming in saying, where do I stand? What do I move? Am I too close to this person? Am I too far away? He's like, just remove everything. So all they have to do is lift it up and put it down again. Yeah.
Yeah, we do it. We try and lay the gym out. If there's rowers and boxes and that type of thing, we will lay the gym out. And then like Gad does, I assume, in his gym, we'll adjust it based off what we see. But basically, we basically have like either everyone gets like a box, or they have like a row and a barbell, and they get their own little square, or we'll lay the rowers and bikes on one side or in the rig if the rig's being used, and then put everything else outside, or outside the rig. Yeah, we'll try and lay people out. It just makes it easier to organize people, maximize the space, keep people safe. But yeah, generally, if you just tell people to get a barbell, go wherever they want, absolute carnage.
But it's like kids in school. If you say, just grab a bit of space on the floor, you'll have a group of people standing right beside each other.
I know, exactly. I remember Andy,
people standing beside the wall, etc.
I remember Andy from COVID lockdowns when he had everybody in squares. I don't think he's gone away from it. I think he's kept.
Loads have. Bath have it as well.
Yeah.
there's these little white L's on the floor, and I kind of noticed it, and I was like, it's weird that you wouldn't clean that off like 5 years later.
Drive me insane. That would.
And they were like, no, we still use them. Like
Yeah.
we still say, oh, get a box, and people go and stand in their box. And I was like, I mean, I guess it takes all that out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it removes the safety concern. It removes you're not going to be too close to a rower if you're in the box, because the box is far enough away from the machine, so it's fine.
Exactly.
That's a COVID hangover though, the box thing. I think maybe I just went to a different gym. We never wiped down or sprayed equipment ever pre-2020.
Oh, we did. I did, to be fair.
We never used to. And I don't think I ever saw it anywhere. But now you go to places, they have like mops, they have spray bottles, like roll. Does that like, do you need to service machines more or anything, or barbells, or like, does it rust shit?
Yeah, we have them serviced basically once a year, all the barbells, all the rowers. Elite Gym Maintenance, shout out to him, he's very good. Once a year, and then we have cleaners that come in 3 times a week. We'll wipe down seats, barbells, rowers, wall balls, shelving. So the members don't have to do it as much now. They just have to wipe down maybe a couple of wall balls if they use it, ab mats if they use those, but generally the barbells and stuff will be taken care of by the cleaners. So the members did it all to like, no, they don't really have to.
The handles, CrossFit is saying the handles on the skier and the rower go really weird.
Yeah.
If they're sprayed enough, they get like sticky and kind of not nice to use. I've meant
tacky.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't care. Maybe it's just me. I just don't care if I pick up a wall ball from the 630 class and I'm in the 730 class, and I take it off the shelf and there's a bit of wet on it. I'm not like, oh my God. Like, I just don't care.
Yeah, and same. Like some people in my gym don't care, and then other people will like scream if they see a bit of sweat on ab mat. I remember there was like some sweat on ab mat at the start of the week, and somebody was like, "Oh my God, have you seen this? It's disgusting."
You're about to do it.
I'll whip it down for you.
Okay. But it's interesting as well. Like I can't think of a less effective way or a worse way to clean something than to give someone whose heart rate is just coming down from 185 a spray bottle and a cloth and be like, clean that there. Like it's always half-arsed. It's just like 2 sprays that dry in immediately, and then they just go like, and they're still dripping sweat on it. And it's like, okay, yeah, that was just pointless.
Yeah. And once your gym's a certain size, it's almost impossible to keep track of. Like my old gym was literally 5 times smaller than what we have now. So like if there was a kettlebell out of place or an ab mat out of place or a rower left out, I could literally see it. Like everyone could see it was left out. But now the gym is much bigger. Like, yeah, and people don't put stuff away. They just leave wall balls out, and it's not as good as it was. And I also understand that like there's more people now, and it's not worth my energy to try and keep on top of it all the time.
Like last night, I was going to bed last night, and I had been texting Jamie from Method about something, and as I was lying in bed, I like closed my eyes and I opened them, and I was like, I left my water bottle on the floor in Jimmy's gym. I think I thought of it because I've been talking to him, and I was like, that definitely pissed him off. And he walked back in and saw a bottle. I was like, who the fuck left this here? So it is easily done. The coaching development thing, you're in a unique position because it's your job. Like your seminar staff level 2 is teaching people how to coach. Like it's developing coaches and improving coaching. Other gyms, so Limitless have a really cool thing in Galway. They've set up their own coaching development program, like a further education thing, which they gave me access to, but I haven't started it yet. But it's basically, if you're on an academic track, they just want people improving all the time. So if you're on an academic track, they just leave you alone. So say there's a guy there that's doing, I don't know, is it physio or physical therapy or something like that anyway. And they're just like, he's fine. Like he is improving himself. So on with it. But then they have other coaches. So he was like, if you finish that, or if you aren't on a formal education track, they give you this thing to do. And he said, it's basically articles, like journal articles, videos, all this kind of stuff that's been collated, that they've collated from .com. and they've pieced it together in sort of chronological order. And it goes through, you know, coaching senior athletes, kids, pregnant athletes, postpartum athletes, like all this kind of stuff. And it just goes through everything. He said most of it, like 95% of it is .com. I think there's one that's like girls gone strong or something, do a postpartum thing or a pregnancy thing that he thinks is better than CrossFit's, but he's like pretty much everything else is CrossFit. And it got me thinking about like that they're doing that. Dan Shafi is doing his what's it called? Something excellence.
Yeah. Coaching excellence, isn't it? Seminar excellence, something like that.
Yeah. And then there's that girl Farron, she does like coaching development courses, best hour of their day, do gym development, and I think there's some coaching stuff in it too. Two Brain do business development stuff. Do you think there'll ever be a time where CrossFit say, right, we need to either envelop these people and like certify their courses and put like that's an earning opportunity for CrossFit surely that they're losing? Or do you think CrossFit are just like, you're an affiliate, if you want to improve your coaches, if you don't, but it's nothing to do with us basically?
I think that's what the level 4, well, it's not a development thing, is it? It was just testing to see whether you could coach a workout on a heavy day. Do I think they will? In the future, yes. When we have a sort of gold standard for what? Because like you said, like all the gyms that you went to are different, all 8. So to be a good coach in Jamie's gym might be a different skill set required in my gym versus Andy's gym, and like it's a different skill set to be able to coach 2 parts every single day versus 3 parts versus 1 workout. It's a completely different skill set. So I think we would have to understand that gyms do things differently, and that's okay because they can all be successful, and it's generally always constantly very flexible with high intensity. But what we need to figure out what all these good coaches do well across these different gyms before we could figure out how to put that into a course. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the level 2. The CrossFit level 2 is about coaching coaches, but it's very, very heavily on coaching movement, being able to coach movement and how to use progressions and how to take like a beginner to be able to do a snatch and this, that, and the other. But again, there's way more to that in running a class, and that's what a coach is for me. Is like, yes, they can coach the movements and they can scale people effectively, and they can, you know, they understand that this person, to get this person from there to there in 6 months, it needs to look like this, and this is how they do it. But also making sure the class is engaging and fun, and it finishes on time, and you know what you're doing at the start of the workout and in the warm up. So I think we could do with a course that teaches people how to run a class effectively from start to finish, rather than as well as movement. So the level 2, the level 2 is almost not. It's almost a different course from the level 1. Like level 1, level 2 makes it look like it's building on the level 1, where it's like here's your methodology on the level 1. This is what CrossFit is. And this is how you coach movement. So to me, it's almost like 2 different things. It's like the level 1, it used to be called the coach's prep course, which in my head in the last sort of 6 months makes more sense to me. It's like, here's your methodology, level 1, here's how to coach movement, number 2. Okay, maybe another course then how to actually run a class. But we need to offer different styles for different types of gyms because the skill sets are different.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to, like, you could bring 10 different coaches in and say, oh, here's how you run a class. This is what you do the whiteboard, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this. And then you go and visit that affiliate and you walk in and you're like, oh, this isn't going to work.
Yeah, exactly. And if you got a coach that's used to coaching, you know, they do strength metcon 5 days a week, you give them a workout that's maybe only 20 minutes long, 30 minutes long with 2 movements, they're going to be so far out of their comfort zone that it's probably not going to go well for most people. So it's a different skill set. Depends what your gym does, depends on what your coaches need to be good at. And obviously exposure to strength and metcon and just long workouts, short workouts, intervals is what a really successful coach is. But to me, it's more important is, are you a good coach in the environment that you're coaching in?
Speaking of success, if you want to have success with your gym apparel, if you scan the QR code in the top left, or if you DM me or text me or email me, I'll put you in touch with the guy that owns Anya. And they basically take all of the guesswork out of you never need to pre-order again. You can just set up a store and your members can visit the store. So you don't actually have to have stock to hand. They can get it shipped to the gym or shipped to their house. And you don't need to worry about it. Oh, I need to order 10 more t-shirts, or oh, that girl wants a size small, but nobody else does. Will I bother getting a size small in the purple? You can just say, there's a website. It's 179crossfit.shop. Yeah, smooth transition, Bartley, right? The reason I was silent at the start of that is because I was thinking, what word was said there that I can use? And I remembered success was said. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. Like it's, I kind of wavered as I went around the different gyms. I kind of wavered to like, wow, I could coach here. Like this is, I could see myself being here. And then I'd go to somewhere else and be like, I could open a gym like this. And then I go somewhere else and be like, it's impossible. Like when you go to Jamie, like Jamie's so systems based. Like everything is systems. Everything from where the people wait for the class to start, to how they enter the class, to what the coach uses to brief the class. Like he has a stopwatch. And I respect this level of detail. I'm not mocking for it at all. So he has there's two screens, and one screen has like an open workout video of the workout that they're doing, playing on it, while the coach is telling everyone what they're doing. So the coaches say, okay, so we've got, like, what did I do? Handstand, partner one did handstand hold, and partner two did 20 pulls on the skier. And it was like 4 or 5 minute AMRAPs. And it was like, right, on the video on the screen, so everybody's just like this, like looking at the screen, and the coach is standing off to the side talking. So the coach doesn't have to demonstrate anything. They can just say, it'll move down so the thing is highlighted, handstand hold, and the video will show someone doing a handstand hold.
Yeah.
And then the highlight thing will move down to the second one, and the video will change to the second person and all that kind of stuff. And then it moves on to the second AMRAP. And if, you can just flow along with it. It would require practice, I guess, because you'd be talking and you look up and be like, fuck, it skipped on 3 bits and I've been talking this whole time and I missed it. Then there's a second screen, just as big, huge screens. Huge screens. There's a second screen beside it. And I said, what's the other screen for? And he said, oh, it's for a timer. And I was like, why don't I just use the clock? And he's like, everyone can't see the clock. So you'd have to have 2 clocks, like one at either end of the gym, if you wanted everyone to see the clock, or else you'd have people like leaning around the rig to see it. So he was like, we have 2 screens, one this side of the rig, one that side of the rig. Sorry, 4. 2 this side, 2 this side. Both have the video playing, for the thing. And then the other 2 on the outside have the time. And he said it's set up so that whoever comes in first in the morning knows that it's 4 or 5 minute AMRAPs, a 2 minutes rest in the middle. So they set the clock to work like that on the screen. Okay, and it's all through an iPad. So you start the video on the iPad, then you change and you go to the clock on the other TV on the iPad, and it just goes 10, 9, and it starts, whatever. He said it saves us so much time from people pointing the remote and then going like on, up, edit, function 1. But he's like, it's just tap, tap, and the clock is on, and it's done. He has like these dumbbell holders that are like, if you've ever seen cars being manufactured and they slide on, there's like a prong like that, and it like slides on and sits. So he was like, it saves us so much time because you don't have to stand behind someone while they take the dumbbells off. You can just move to the right and grab the same dumbbell from the tree or whatever, the slider thing. Loads of little things like that. He was like, we used to have people wait at the side of the class for the next class, and then we took over this area upstairs, and now we have them wait there. So there's this huge big glass window, and they're watching the class, and then they come down the stairs when the coach calls them down. He's like, because what would happen is you'd have someone doing double unders and some fucker would be foam rolling behind them because they're warming up or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just gradually encroach more and more and more on the class. And he was like, now that doesn't happen anymore. And then he's big into his systems of, a guy came in when I was there to get an in-body scan because I assume from looking at him, his wife was concerned about his health and said, Googled body fat scan or, you know, whatever, found this place method, said they do body scans, you need to go there. He walked in his suit, did his scan, and was walking out the door, and Jamie essentially ran after him. I was like, oh, how did you find the gym? Like, how did you, and he was like, oh, just whatever. And he was like, yeah, come back in. We do classes, whatever. Like, when do you usually train? Oh, I don't usually train. I'm not big into resistance training. Well, we don't do a lot of resistance training. Like, it's more like, I started explaining it. Eventually got him back in the door, got him over to the window. And the guy was like looking at us doing fucking handstand holds and stuff. And Jamie was like, that was a tough sell, to be honest, because like, the guy's like, oh, I don't really like resistance training. And then you're looking in at people doing wall walks, and he's like, well, I'm not sure. And he's like, well, look down there, she's not doing them the way she's doing them. And but yeah, everything, he was like, we know, because he booked the in-body scan, we have his email, we have his phone number. So then we know that if we call him within an hour, he's more likely to commit than if we call him tomorrow. So we'll call him when he gets home. And then if he doesn't fully commit, we'll call him again in the morning. And then I was looking at Dan Shafi's stories, and he does the same thing. He has a book with numbers that in his story he didn't black out very well, but he has like phone numbers, and he basically just has all these people that have come in, and then the whole coaching staff just set aside time to call these people. Say, like, we need to get you in. It's all just systems. Like, everything just seems, and then you look at it, and there's the people that you're talking about in the level 2 that are like, oh, we're not making enough money and blah, blah, blah. I'd say none of them do any of those types of things at all.
I say that those system exists because of how successful the gyms are, but I wouldn't say it's those systems that make them successful.
Do you think?
I would say it helps them now, but I think you have to get to a certain size or a certain level of success before you have to have an area upstairs, because the classes are so busy that people encroach on them. Most people can't get enough people into their class in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think it helps, but I think, like, I don't know, maybe it's just a personal thing, but I've never done any of it. Like, none of it.
I think you do some of it, but you just don't realize you do it. You don't officially do it or realize you're doing it officially. Do you know what I mean? You don't have an actual system in place, but you do contact people quickly after they contact you about joining the gym. Do you know what I mean?
I think I've put, the only adverts I've ever put out are for like specialty classes, like the Academy or Mums and Babies, that type of thing. And that was just an Instagram ad. I would say now we're getting to the stage where my role was going to be more that type of things, but none of it got me to where the gym is now. And that, again, it could be a personal thing, but
I think Jamie and I think Dan as well will probably say that it was more a case of like adding bricks where there were, like, say Jamie notices that it's annoying that the people are encroaching on the class. So he's like, I need to figure out a way to fix that. And then it's just small little fixes that then when someone joins the coaching staff, they're like, right, this is the way we do everything. And the new coach is like, fucking hell. But it's like 11, method's been around 11 years. So it's like 10 years of mistakes and solutions to those mistakes that have it running as a really well-oiled machine.
Exactly. I think for most gym owners, they're nowhere near that. It's like, what got them to that level, I think is the useful conversation. I think the systems and everything else that are in place is awesome. And once gyms like tick over a certain, they've ticked the couple of the goals off the list about, the gym makes this much money, we've got this many coaches, we do this many classes. Well, how do we get then to like more? I think before that, we need to look at understanding the methodology, understanding programming, understanding coaching. And that, I think, is enough for a lot of gyms to succeed. Other stuff.
Seth says systems like that will help us navigate multiple locations at once. Yeah, Seth owns like 45 affiliates or something.
How do people close my mind?
Or 6. I don't know, 6, 7, 6. Barty says, I love a good system. Yeah, he's probably out in erection for the last 10 minutes. I think wording it that way helps others adopt the systems. You always hear you need more systems. That at least always turned me away. Sounds very corporate. Yeah, I think I remember so when I was, this is the second time I was at Method, and I felt the same way when I was at Lamington, and when I had conversations with Andy and conversations with Ollie and stuff about their gyms. that it is a bit like, oh, is this kind of getting away from CrossFit a bit and whatever? And then it was kind of put to me, not, I don't mean the programming or anything else, I just mean the running of the business. It was very like corporate and very, we have our input and our output and we have our whatever. But then it was, the way Jamie explained it to me was like, a CrossFit gym is a small business. And if you don't treat it like a small business, you're just always going to be trying to keep your head above water. That like, if you go into a coffee shop, they have systems, and it's probably the same thing. They've either, maybe it was a barista in another coffee shop that says, I can do this better. Like, what does that sound like? Every second fucking affiliate owner, I can do this better. And they go and open their own gym. The barista leaves, goes and opens their own coffee shop, realizes it's harder than they thought it was, realizes that, oh, I make really good coffee, but I can't do this, that, or the other. I need someone else to come in and help me do that. Or I need to employ this company to help me do it. And then over time, they just develop systems. Like if I open this thing and do this, and it's just like brick by brick by brick, and it just solutions to problems as they arise. I think the thing with Dan's excellence, I can't remember the fucking name of that thing, but whatever the seminar thing that he does, pursuing excellence or something, is that he basically, and Jamie does some mentoring and stuff as well. I think the Lamington guy does as well. I know you do as well, but like gym, you're running the gym and stuff. You're basically shortcutting everyone. You're, instead of saying like, right, learn from your mistakes and lay brick by brick, you're basically saying like, here's my wall.
Yeah.
Have a look at it. See if any of the bricks look like the bricks you use, and then go back and implement them. So you're skipping the queue, or you're skipping the learning time.
Yeah.
By saying like, wow, he has a system. So he has 4 front of house staff that are, or 3 front of house staff that are full-time employed, and their job is to make smoothies, sell coffees, sell, whatever, snacks, food, that kind of stuff. And then that's part of it. But their main role is to get people into the gym. It's their job to do the advertising, the contacting people, the sales, like whatever, like follow up on calls and that kind of stuff. And then to prep the coaches, as in, it's Johnny's birthday on Monday, and it's in the coach's notes when the coach comes in because someone on front of house did it. And then that frees the coach up to just coach. The clock thing frees up the coach. It gives them 10 more seconds to coach in the class because they're not looking for the remote, or they're not whatever. And that you can scale that back to, instead of, oh, now I have to buy a £200 TV and stick it up on the wall and get a fucking iPad and connect it to it and figure all that shit out. Now it's like, that could be scaled back to, you have a fucking shelf that the remote always goes on, and then it's never lost.
Exactly. It's all just problem solving. It's like the problem arise from certain things, and you just, like, I used to have WhatsApp groups 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I had WhatsApp groups where people booked in. So like, if you wanted to come to the 5 p.m. class, you're in the 5 p.m. WhatsApp group. If you wanted to come to the 6 p.m. class, you're in the 6 p.m. WhatsApp group. Like, a system would be me getting Waterfy, getting rid of that and putting everybody on one thing. The academy program is for people that join the gym. That's a system, if you like, but we only have that now in the last 3 months because the gym is of a certain size. Whereas before, we get people in through the door, just get them into a class, join them up, set them up after the class, where now it's a little bit more structured. It's a system that's just arisen from just having too many people through the door at once. So the academy program is a system that helps me do that. Everything people pay for is all automatic on this little iZettle terminal. It's a system that means I haven't got to be selling knockos and barbells to every single person that comes in the gym. It's all self-service. So yeah, systems are just ways around problems to make things a little bit easier. And you'll depending on the level of your gym, depending on when you meet them, the successful gyms can show people this is what we do when we have these problems, because it's all going to be the same thing.
I don't know. I think the prevailing, I'm not expecting you to comment on this, but the prevailing mood from going around is, we really love doing this and we really love helping people. But if another fucking private equity company owned this, if I'm staring down the barrel of another 5 years plus of this same like stagnation, or like the Lamington Spa guy said, Satiris is his name, he said he finds it hilarious that gym owners he's in groups, Facebook groups, that kind of shit. And he's like, you have gym owners that sound exactly like the members that they were complaining about 2 months ago when they raised the rates. They sound exactly like them about the 4,500 affiliate fees. And they're like, oh, well, it's raised by this much, but I'm not getting that amount of value back. And he's like, that's what your member was fucking saying. You were giving out about your member saying that 2 months ago, and now you're saying the same thing.
To be fair, yeah.
But he was saying that you have 2 decades of literature, articles, like, etc. You have IP, you have advertisements, logos, graphics, everything for 20 years. And you have positive brand recognition. And he said he'd pay 8,000. Like, he was like, yeah. He's like, there's only one thing that would make me de-affiliate would be if they suddenly started turning around saying, you have to hang this flag. You can't hang that flag. You have to do this with your bathrooms, whatever. Yeah. He was like, if that starts happening, I'm out. But then I was talking to Jamie about it, and he was saying, yeah. He was like, there has to be a limit, though, on what you would pay, because 2019 and backwards, yeah, like, I agree with absolutely everything he said. But now, where's the positive brand recognition? Like, where's the... Now, he said that more and more now, he's having people coming in and say, yeah, we do CrossFit, but... Instead of just saying, like, yeah, we do CrossFit. Like, you're having to quantify or qualify, because people will be like, didn't someone die last year? Or people will be like, oh, hasn't that got a load of bad press? Or because there's no one's fighting the fight the way that, the burgers used to, or, like, chasing out people who write bad articles and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think
CrossFit needs to be it's the biggest advertisement for affiliates. The role of HQ is to get more people doing CrossFit and getting them into the affiliates.
Yeah.
And to do that, you need people that know how to do that and show off CrossFit what it is, it's the best fitness program in the world. So you need to show people how effective it is and make people fit. And, you look at the game stuff, and this is what happens. Like, you do this program, and if you're a freak of nature, this is the level of fitness you could achieve. But, like, guess what? Your grandparents can do it. Your friends and family can do it. It's for anybody. And if we do that well, which the last couple of months, I would say, has been a big shift in the media. And it's going to take a long time for that to come full circle again. But I think the media side is heading in a better direction. I think in the future it will drive more people back to the affiliates. Starting CrossFit and taking up CrossFit again. I would personally leave health back there.
Netflix can do that.
Yeah, exactly. Leave it to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think from visiting the 8 or whatever, I was left really hopeful that, like, it's fine. Now, I did curate slightly the ones that I went to, because I, as almost like a prospective member, I was like on their Instagram going through, being like, I know that guy, I know what his standards are, I know what his, like, beliefs are in CrossFit and stuff, so I know I'll probably like his gym, etc. I didn't just, maybe I'll do that someday, like, search 1-star review CrossFit gyms. That'd be an amazing video, actually.
They do it with golf courses. It's not a pretty watch.
Yeah, that'd be an amazing video. Go to 1-star CrossFit gyms and just do a tour of like 5 of them and be like, why are you doing it this way?
Yeah, like a secret shopper type thing.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, I just have WhatsApp groups for the 5 o'clock class, 6 o'clock class. You're like, wow, you're Johnny like 5 years ago. All right, there's I've 2 more gyms to go to.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Avenge in Northern Ireland, Mollusk. And I don't know the name of the second gym. I'm trying to track down. So when we were at the affiliate gathering in Ireland, Andy pointed out a guy and said, those 2 brothers took over the gym that they were running, and they added 150 members, and they only took it over 6 months ago. And I was like, wow. And then I asked him like 3 times since, what was that guy's name? What was the name of their gym? And he has not answered he's answered every other question I've asked, but he's not answered that one question. I don't know why. So I just need to ask someone else.
Affiliated.
Yeah. The Buddy Bros did. I think the Buddy Bros did a 1-star CrossFit gym review, but they just did one. I'm saying if you went to like, so now I've gone to 10 really, I will have gone to 10 really good affiliates and done 10 episodes on it. So if I just went to 10
bad ones
and just did one episode on the 10.
Fuck, can you imagine they knew you were doing that series, you turn up at their gym?
Yeah, that'd be the thing. You'd have to not tell them though, wouldn't you? I bet the 1-star review ones are the ones where you go in and the workout's just on the board. And then you're looking around the room being like, which person is the coach?
I went to a gym once and it was all on video on like GIFs, videos that just repeat over and over and over again. So you got your bay, you got your little squat rack bay. So it's like a pull-up bar, rower, barbell, plates, dumbbells, or anything you could need for an individual. There was like, let's say 12 bays in the room. Big screen up at the top, and then it was the warm-up. So it was like 3 rounds of like, I don't know, like inchworms, air squats and burpees. And it was like GIFs of the movements. And then that basically lasted for like 10 minutes. And then the workout came up with GIFs of the movements. And then that was it.
Was there anyone there? Like, was there
standing there, just like not doing anything, just overseeing, almost like a lifeguard, you know?
Wow.
He was like all automatic.
I bet that's a guy who thinks this system is amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of systems.
I mean, it might work for them, not for me, you know?
Yeah, see, this is what I remember. They went to the gyms, but then they were like, oh, this shouldn't be 1-star. I want to go to the ones where I'm like, that was a fucking shithole. Like I was at one in Marbella. I can't remember the name of it. And I Googled, I need to check, but there's no way it's actually a CrossFit gym. But I Googled like CrossFit and it said there's this 24-hour gym.
Right.
And I was like, right. So there was a WhatsApp number. So I text the guy and he said, no problem. I think it was like €50 for the week.
You told me about this, yeah.
And he told me the code. And I was like, I could be a rapist. Like I could be anybody. I could be a pyromaniac. And you just gave me the code to your gym.
Yeah.
Because you have a security camera, so it's fine. So I was like, right, this is going to be one of two things. It's going to be amazing and everybody keeps it really well and you get the vibe and culture as soon as you walk through the door and you respect it and you keep it. Or it's going to be a fucking dump. And it was not the former. They had like cattle mats, which I fucking hate. You know, those like ribbed like cattle mats, horse stall mats or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the floor. But there was like every second one was a different brand.
Nice.
Or like facing a different direction.
Nice, yeah.
And then you're like, I remember walking through and I stood on something and I was like, oh, that's obviously where the rig used to be. There was just like a hole, like where they had obviously lifted up the rig and moved it, but the hole was still there. The wall balls were like, they looked like me in a small shirt. Like they were just bulging all over the place. It was fucking crazy. Like, and it was just like the coach was there finishing up a class. Everyone looked happy. Coach there finishing up a class. She was like, all right. And then she was kind of walking out, had barely any English, and was just kind of like going, you're good to me. And I was like, yep. It's like, what? So there's another guy doing a workout, and I was like, I need to finish before he finishes because I'm not comfortable locking this place up. So I have to be done before he's done, or I just have to walk out when he walks out. But yeah, it's like gyms like that.
Didn't know any different, you would just think that's what it is.
That's what I'm saying though. Someone Googles CrossFit and then says, it's like, yeah, sure, come down. And then you walk in, you see that. You're like, CrossFit is shit. I got
guys that train in my gym, good friends of mine. Their wives, 2 of their wives did CrossFit somewhere else and now won't join my gym because of the bad experience somewhere else.
Wow.
Isn't that mad?
Yeah.
That's the negative side in it. Like if someone goes to a bad CrossFit gym in Bristol and they have a bad experience, they'll never join another CrossFit gym anywhere else again.
I'm trying to think, how could I do that? I could probably do it in Albany. Just search like the worst, like read all the reviews of all the CrossFit gyms in the New York state. And just go to one of them. Like, can I do a class? Okay, there's an idea. All right, thanks, Johnny. If you want an affiliate and you want to improve your apparel offering, use Anya. Text me or DM me and I'll get you sorted out. You get free samples if you come through me as well. JR's not here because he's I don't know what he's doing. Something to do with the games. Not, I don't mean in an official capacity. Like he's helping someone practice something or do something. Makes sense. I own a super nice everything equipment gym, and every time people who start at my gym leave and come back, they don't realize all gyms are not the same. Yeah, that guy, Satiris, said the same thing. It's like people go away on holiday and come back and they're like, holy fuck, I thought that every gym was like this. And he was like, there was a dog pissing in the corner, there was fucking babies crying, there was broken plates. Yeah, it's crazy. All right. Thanks, Johnny. Thanks everyone for watching.
Pleasure.
God bless.